Alright, so today we're going to be reading a little bit about how the Revolutionary War affected civilians, soldiers, and officers during the war. I'm going to give you each a packet here, okay, guys? You're welcome. I want you to grab a highlighter. So, I'm going to read this aloud, and you guys are going to follow along. And I want you, as you're following along with me, to highlight words that you may not understand, so you can look those up later, okay? And I probably will also tell you to underline certain words as we go in. And then I'm also going to stop and I'm going to ask you guys if you have any questions during the reading, okay? Alright, here we go. So the war experiences. Soldiers, officers, and civilians. Americans remember the famous battles of the American Revolution, such as Bunker Hill, Saratoga, and Yorktown, in part because they were patriotic victories, but this apparent string of success is misleading. Alright, so, is there any question you guys have about that paragraph? Do you guys know what misleading means? Okay. So, go ahead and underline, highlight misleading. So misleading, guys, is something that kind of makes you think one way, but the truth is something different. Okay? So, like, if I were to tell you Zips makes the best hamburger in the world, they don't. That's misleading. Alright. So, the Patriots lost more battles than they won. And like any war, the Revolution was filled with hard times, loss of life, and suffering. In fact, the Revolution had one of the highest casualty rates of any U.S. war. Only the Civil War was bloodier. Any questions? Casualties? So casualties is anybody who's injured. So it doesn't necessarily mean they died, like anybody who got shot. Like if you get shot, you're a casualty. So it's anything that makes you unable to continue on. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, so I'd highlight casualty in there, and let's see, is there anything else? No, that should be fine. Alright, here we go. Any other questions? No? Good? Alright. In the early days of 1776, most Americans were naive when assessing just how difficult the war would be. Great initial enthusiasm led many men to join local militias, where they often served under officers of their own choosing. Yet these volunteers' forces were not strong enough to defeat the British Army, which was the most highly trained and best equipped in the world. Furthermore, because most men preferred serving in the militia, the Continental Congress had trouble getting volunteers for General George Washington's Continental Army. This was in part because the Continental Army demanded longer terms and harsher discipline. So I want you guys to go ahead off the bat and underline naive. Do you guys know what naive means?
Doesn't it sound like naive? I thought it mean like it would be harder to.
Okay. So naive means that you are like uneducated about something, or you are unaware of what something means. So if I were to say, hey, give me 8 quarters and I'll give you $1. And you gave me those 8 quarters, and I gave you $1. How much money did you give me, and how much money did I give you?
You gave me $2.
You gave me $2, right? And if you didn't know how much 8 quarters was worth, that's you being naive. You didn't know something, and that you fell for me fooling you because you were uneducated about something. You were naive about it. Okay, so that's what naive is. Militia?
Yeah.
So a militia is a group of people that come together to fight over something. So like if us four were like, hey, we're gonna form a militia, and our militia is gonna be against bullies. Okay, so we form a militia, and then we go out and like if we see somebody bullying, like we will protect the person who's being bullied. So that's like a militia. We came together to fight over a certain cause.
Demanded.
Demanded? So demanded is like, give me all your money. Like I'm demanding that you give me my money, your money. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that like you need to give it to them, but that's what they're asking for, and they're not going to settle for anything less. And then it can be a good thing and bad thing, like demanding perfection, like somebody's demanding that you give your 100% effort so that you succeed. That's another form of demanding. So it can be a bad thing and it can be a good thing. All right. Anything else? Okay. So let me see if there's anything I want you guys to underline in there. So you already got naive. Enthusiasm, you guys know what enthusiasm is?
Yeah, it's like emotion.
Being excited. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go move on to the next paragraph. Washington correctly insisted on having a regular army and essential to any chance for victory. After a number of bad militia losses in battle, the Congress gradually developed a stricter military policy. It required each state to provide a larger quota of men. You would serve for longer terms, but who would be compensated by signing a bonus and the promise of free land after the war. The policy aimed to fill the ranks of the Continental Army, but was never fully successful. While the Congress authorized an army of 75,000, at its peak, Washington's main force never had more than 18,000 men. The terms of service were such that only men with relatively few other options chose to join the Continental Army. Any questions about that paragraph, guys?
Quote.
Okay, so quota is if I ask you to turn in 5 assignments by the end of the week, that's a quota.
Okay.
So if you only turn in 4 assignments, you didn't meet quota. Okay. Compensated? Compensated just means that you're awarded something for something you do. So like if you rake my yard and I pay you $10, I compensated you for your work by paying you the $10. So that's what compensated is. Okay. All right. All right, so we're going to move on. Part of the difficulty in raising a large permanent fighting force was that many Americans feared the army as a threat to the liberty of the new republic. The ideals of the revolution suggested that the militia, made up of local patriotic volunteers, should be enough to win in a good cause against a corrupt enemy. Behind this idealistic opposition to the army, there were also more pragmatic difficulties. If a wartime army camped near private homes, they often seized food and personal property. Exasperating the situation was Congress' inability to pay, feed, and equip the army. Questions? Pragmatic just means it's just another way of saying problematic or something that caused issue. Okay.
Exasperated.
Exasperated, something that frustrates you. Yeah, it's a frustrating issue. Like I'm fed up. Okay. As a result, soldiers often resented civilians whom they saw as not sharing equally in the sacrifices of the revolution. Several mutinies occurred toward the end of the war, with ordinary soldiers protesting their lack of pay and poor conditions. Not only were soldiers angry, but officers also felt that the country did not treat them well. Patriotic civilians and the Congress expected officers who were mostly elite gentlemen to be honorable, self-sacrificing in their wartime services. When officers were denied a lifetime pension at the end of the war, some of them threatened to conspire against the Congress. General Washington, however, acted swiftly to halt the threat before it was put into action.
Pension.
Which one?
Pension.
So a pension is like a retirement thing. So like when you work somewhere for a certain amount of time, they may offer you a pension at the end of your service. So like when they served, they were kind of promised a pension. So at the end of their service, they were supposed to continue receiving pay as if like usually it's a fraction, so it'll be like half of what you made when you were working there, and you receive that as compensation for like an extended period of time, usually until you die. You receive it forever. So that's what a pension is. You guys know what mutiny is?
Mutiny is when the soldiers turn against the group they're fighting for.
Exactly. That is mutiny. Good job. All right. Any other questions about that paragraph? No? Okay. Last paragraph. The Continental Army defeated the British with the crucial help of French financial and military support. But the war ended with very mixed feelings about the usefulness of an army. Not only were civilians and those serving in the military mutually suspicious, but also even within the army, soldiers and officers could harbor deep grudges against one another. The war against the British ended with the Patriot military victory at Yorktown in 1781. However, the meaning and consequences of the revolution had not yet been decided. Crucial? Important. Crucial means important. Anything else? No? Alright. So that's it, guys. Anything that you guys highlighted in there, looking them up only helps you better understand the reading and also improves your vocabulary. So thanks for sitting with me today.
You're
Appreciate it.
Thank you.